You've probably seen it. A top fuel dragster crash. It's one of the most violent, explosive things you can witness in sports. But then, something almost unbelievable happens. The driver just walks away. How? Well, it's definitely not magic, and it's not just luck. It's a symphony of engineering, where that spectacular chaos you see actually means the safety systems are working perfectly. So let's break down how a car can be designed to completely destroy itself just to save the one person inside. First, you really have to wrap your head around the speed we're talking about. A top fuel dragster is covering a quarter mile in under 4 seconds. We're talking speeds well over 300 miles per hour. That is faster than a jumbo jet at takeoff. And at that velocity, things don't just break, they practically vaporize.
So when something goes wrong, the result is instantaneous and total. The car just seems to evaporate into this blizzard of parts. It looks completely, 100% unsurvivable. You see that cloud of smoke and debris and you just think, there is no way anyone lived through that.
But they do, almost every time. Out of the smoke, this perfect little capsule often just slides to a stop, and the driver climbs out. Maybe they're a little shaken up, but they're alive. So that's the big question we're going to solve here. How is this incredible survival even possible? The answer is a pretty brilliant mix of physics, material science, and decades of really hard-learned lessons. You know, to really understand the incredible safety we have today, we have to look back at a time when there was basically none. Racing has always been about pushing the limits, and in the beginning, that meant pushing the limits of survival itself. Our need for speed started way before the engine, with horse racing, the sport of kings. But once the automobiles showed up, oh man, everything changed. The first car race back in 1894 was this bone-jarring trek on cobblestones. By 1904, you had races like the Vanderbilt Cup happening on public roads on Long Island. And then by the 30s, you had these young gearheads out in California creating their own speedways on these huge, dusty, dry lake beds.
And the conditions, they were brutal. The cars were these fragile things that broke down or caught fire all the time. They were racing on dirt paths or public roads with none of the barriers or safety zones we take for granted today. To put it simply, the idea of driver safety, it was pretty much an afterthought. This quote just sums up the whole era perfectly. Back in those pioneering days on the dry lake beds, seatbelts were often optional, and the high-tech head protection, it was little more than a stitched leather hat. It was pure, it was raw, and it was incredibly dangerous. But, as the speeds got higher and the crashes got bigger, it became obvious that racing couldn't just stay on public roads and dusty deserts forever. It needed dedicated places where both speed and safety could evolve. Places like the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, built way back in 1909, they changed everything. These purpose-built tracks created a controlled environment. They became these cathedrals of speed, but more importantly, they became laboratories. The intense competition on the track was the ultimate testing ground for new automotive ideas. And what's wild is how that innovation born on the racetrack affects your life every single day. You think the rearview mirror was invented for parallel parking? Nope. An Indy 500 driver stuck one on his car in 1911 so he could see who was coming up behind him. High-performance tech like disc brakes, turbochargers, all of it was perfected in the fiery crucible of racing before it ever made it into the car you drive. So that brings us right back to our original question. All those decades of innovation led to a complete revolution in how engineers think about a crash, building the foundation for the modern safety philosophy we see today. Okay, so here's the core concept, and it's totally counterintuitive. The car is designed to be disposable. It is meant to shatter into a million pieces. Why? Because every single piece that flies off, the wing, the wheels, the body panels, is carrying deadly kinetic energy away from the one thing that actually matters, the driver. Think of it this way. The car has two very different jobs in a crash. Most of the car, all those external parts, their job is to fail, to brake, to absorb and scatter all that energy. But one small part of the car is designed to do the exact opposite. It's designed to be absolutely, positively unbreakable. And that part is the driver's cockpit. This thing isn't just a driver's seat, it's a survival cell. It's a cocoon that's built from this incredibly strong material called chromoly steel. The rest of the car can literally be torn in half, it can be shredded into confetti, but this pod is engineered to stay in one piece, sliding right through all that chaos, perfectly intact. And inside that unbreakable box, the driver is protected by even more layers of safety. A 7-point harness locks their body firmly into the seat so they're part of the car. The hands device, which tethers the helmet to the shoulders, prevents that deadly head and neck whip that used to be a major cause of fatalities. And then the entire driver is wrapped from head to toe in a multi-layered Nomex fire suit, buying them precious, life-saving seconds to get away from a fire. Now, all of this is incredible protection for when a crash happens. But what if the car could actually anticipate a failure and react before the driver even knows there's a problem? Well, a lot of modern safety is also proactive. Those supercharged engines are so powerful they can literally explode, so they're wrapped in Kevlar blankets to contain the shrapnel. If the car's computer senses an engine failure, it can automatically cut the fuel supply and deploy the parachutes. All of this happens before the driver's brain can even process that there was an explosion. It's like a guardian angel made of sensors and code. So when you put all of these pieces together, the history of trial and error, the advanced materials, the proactive systems, you really get to the core philosophy of modern high-speed safety.
So the next time you see a dragster disintegrate on the track, I want you to reframe what you're seeing. That spectacular, violent explosion of parts is not a sign that something failed. It is not a poorly built car.
It's the absolute opposite. What you are witnessing is a masterclass in safety engineering. Every single piece flying away is proof of a system working with violent perfection, all to protect the human being sitting right in the middle of it. It all comes down to this one simple guiding principle. The multi-million-dollar machine is in the end just a collection of parts. It's built to be sacrificed. The driver inside, however, is priceless. We've come from leather hats to unbreakable cocoons that can think faster than a human, but the quest for speed, that never stops. As cars start pushing towards 400 miles per hour and beyond, it really leaves you wondering, what new physics will they have to master, and what will the next generation of safety even look like?